May I have your attention, and we are going to call to order the meeting of the Lehigh Northampton Airport Authority for May 28th. If everyone would please rise and face the flag, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sylvette, would you please call the roll?
Paul Anthony.
Here.
Ian Baum.
She's on the line, I think.
Robert Brooks. Frank Facciano.
Here.
Don Gottschall. Here. Ricky Gower.
Here.
Justin Grimshaw.
Here.
John Hayes. Ron Heckman.
Here.
Larry Hemberger.
Here.
James Irwin. Glenn Reedman.
Present.
Mike Stershik. Here. Jonathan Strauss.
Here.
Chris Worley. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Sylvette, do we have any public comment?
No, we do not, sir.
Okay, next up is the approval of the minutes for the April 30th, 2024 meeting. I'll entertain a motion for that. Mike, second. Frank, any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Minutes pass. Reports of committees, officers, and staff. Frank, the treasurer's report.
Thank you. I'm going to turn that over to Todd.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Just so you know, I promised the new chair that I'll make this short and sweet. So I know everybody's really upset about that. So we'll go through the report. Traffic, we had a good month of April, not as good as it was in 2022 or even 2019, but year to date, that is our best traffic since 2004. See where we are benchmarking ourselves. Again, we're benchmarking versus last year, no longer benchmarking against 2019. You can see where we use the seats. As I always say, we use the seats that we get. Seats are up 5, throughput up almost more than 3 times that amount. And comparing us to our peers, again, we're right in the middle there. This is again comparing it to last year. If you take out Newport News, which had the negatives down there, we're right around the average on throughput, and we're still down versus on seats. Really had a good month of April, 414 net income. That was positive, mainly by expenses. Some of that's timing, but I think we do a good job of managing our expenses, which we talked about in our committee. Year to date, we are favorable without CARES, about 1.4. And I know anybody who's keeping track, 4 straight months of positive net income without CARES. So I don't like to go too early, but we're obviously in April, so 4 straight months of positive net income each and every month without CARES. So that's a good thing for us. Breaking it down, I think we talked about this at our committee meetings. Personnel, really a lot of that is on the benefit side. If you did it on personnel costs, wages, it's about a -2 versus budget, but benefit costs are about a -19. Some of that is the aggressiveness or I guess conservativeness in how we budgeted new hires as far as who would take full family. And then some of that is the additional costs for overtime versus benefits. Our new mark is 180 all in on reserves. You can see this, the unrestricted number is 346. We stay well above that 180 line for the next 12 months. If you look down at the bottom, kind of all the things that make up that exciting 180. And we did talk about our cost per day. I think that was something that John Hayes had brought up, and just kind of seeing what's going on with our costs. You go back, and these are actual versus budgeted, but actual cost in 2019 was $60,000 before COVID, and then you can kind of see we went down to 43,000, 47, and those orange is kind of that recovery period, and then we got back over our 2019 levels last year, and our budgeted number is 70, almost 74,000. And as was pointed out in our committee meeting, we tend to run lower than budget, but obviously you can see costs are rising pretty quickly there. Any questions? That was short and sweet. I tried to keep it that way. When we have a good report, should make it short and sweet, right?
A motion to accept the report, Mike? Second?
Done.
Won't be off.
Dawn? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Frank, go right to the finance.
I'm going to go right to the financial audit to Todd.
I'm assuming Scott is on the line. There he is.
There it is.
Scott, can we hear you, Scott? Can you hear us? Okay. And Scott's on mainly for questions. We went through a lot of the stuff in his presentation. Last week, we had a clean audit. I think he pretty much said that what you're getting on a regular basis is information that you can trust. We had some minor changes in our audit from the draft. I think I have those here. Oops. Is that in there? Is that not there? They were there. Oh, there it is. Oops, sorry. There you go, sorry. We did, so everybody saw the draft that we put out there. Always try to be as transparent as possible. These are really minor changes, but again, trying to be as transparent as possible. Most of these things were rounding adjustments. We did make some additional adjustments on page 30 regarding the connector loan and updating some of the terms and the principal commentary. And then we added 2014 on the pension information. But again, most of the stuff is rounding, $1, nothing material, nothing substantial. But again, to let you know, to be as transparent as possible, what other adjustments we've had. Audit pretty much lays out everything you need to know. If you're looking for the abridged version, you look at the management discussion and analysis on the first few pages. Does anybody have any questions? I mean, again, clean audit is what you want. Scott's on the line in case anybody has any questions. And again, I told the chairman I tried to keep this short and sweet because we got good news.
It was a good audit. I know John interviewed with them. I interviewed with them. Very good.
Scott, you can just give us a thumbs up. There we go. We got the thumbs up.
And a motion to accept the financial audit.
All right.
Dawn, second. John, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Scott.
It's accepted.
Very good. Executive Committee, we are going to have the approval of the closing resolution for 304 Main Street, Kansasaki. Darren will take care of that.
Thank you, sir. And I also promised to be short. It was pretty short at the committee, so I think it's short here as well. Really, this is just, we approved the board approved the purchase of this property, that 304 Main Street in Caddy last month. And the title company had just asked us, they needed an official resolution for closing. So when we went out, so that's, all this is basically, at the end of the day, authorizes Tom or myself to sign the documents at closing. So we're planning to close this Thursday on the property. So happy to answer questions.
Any questions for Darren? Seeing none, I'll take a motion for the resolution. Frank, a second. Paul? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right, thank you.
Resolution passes.
Short. It wasn't as sweet as Todd's.
I was under pressure this time.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. As Todd mentioned, good month of April. As we look at May and look at the numbers there, month-to-date throughput nationally and checkpoints across the country is up about 6.34% versus last May. If we look at our throughput, we're up about 25% over last May, so looking good, and our seats are up about 24%. So we're using the seats again. We look at June, we're projected to be up about 26% on seats, which is great to see, continued increase in seat volume over last June. Nationally, June seats look to be about up 6.7%, so we continue to be above that trend. When we talk about what happened since our last board meeting back on April 30th, May 6th, American Airlines bus service to Philly increased from 3 operations per day to 5 operations per day. On May 7th, staff participated in a STEAM Expo at Warfield Middle School with Parkland School District. On May 9th, the U.S. Army helicopters were exercising over at Braden Air Park. Really, it was just a troop movement out to Fort Indian Town Gap. On May 9th, we also visited Bethlehem area VOTEC, which was a great meeting to discuss some partnering opportunities here with the airport, and that was really a fun meeting. On May 16th, Allegiant Air began nonstop service to Orlando International. That operates Sundays and Thursdays every week. Special thanks to Dawn and to Ricky for being here extra early for that morning event. But we really appreciate that, and it was, I think, a great event.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Saw it on the news.
Yeah, it was great news and a great event that day, great coverage, so the team did a great job. After an earlier visit in May, ABE hosted Doc, the World War II B-29 bomber, back again on May 20th and 21st, so they had a lot more flying to do, so they were happy to come back to the area and do that here. And then in terms of upcoming events, June 13th, we're hosting the Northampton Area School District, their administrative team, for an airport tour. And then Saturday, June 15th, our Wings for All event, which is an event we hold, a little bit of a dress rehearsal for flying for families with family members who have an intellectual or developmental disability. Last time we did that was pre-COVID, so 2019. So it's been 5 years since we've had one of these events, but working with the ARC and Delta Airlines. So I know that Colin is going to send out some information to board members if they're interested in seeing what that's all about. Again, Saturday, June 15th, more information to come. June 18th is our next Fear of Flying seminar, sold out. So we're continuing to try to book more and more of those, but that one is actually a little bit fuller than we like, but we were able to get that one completely sold out pretty easily. June 20th, I think we were at the Transportation Forum with the Chamber, so excited to be part of that. And June 24th, staff is presenting to Good Shepherd Rehab down in Center Valley regarding traveling with disabilities, talking a little bit to folks down there about that. So that concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
Who presents that?
Paula, customer service team, Colin, and his folks. Yeah.
So when you say that the Fear of Flying seminar is sold out,
Yes.
is there a cost for that?
There is. Colin, do we have the cost on that?
It's $40.
$40. Thank you.
It's worth not being afraid anymore.
And if it's sold out, you should raise the price.
Yeah, I mean, the demand has been great, and we do draw people from all over the state and even out of state because we don't have, I guess there really aren't seminars like this locally. So it's trying to, get this information out to people. It seems like it helps, so.
Any other questions for Tom? Seeing none, we'll move to the solicitor's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So on the Bracy project, negotiations are ongoing about closing out the connector project. We'll talk a little bit more about threatened litigation in executive session. Also, we prepared the agreement of sale that Darren mentioned. We're looking into tax and zoning classifications for some parcels in Catasauqua, changing those, maybe consolidating into a single parcel. We prepared an easement, actually a release of easement agreement relating to one of the cargo operations there now. They need a through the fence agreement so they can actually come into the airport, and so we're just dealing with some of the other agreements that were related to that temporary access until that through the fence agreement was in place. And then Todd also asked about hiring a parking enforcement officer, and we'll have a memo on that about how you can go about doing that pretty soon. That's all that's been going on my end. Any questions? And then after the meeting, we'll do the conflicts training. That we did it about 6 months ago. It's going to become an annual thing in the spring, so it'll be a little bit of a refresher for many of you. So we'll go through that pretty quickly today.
Thank you, Madam Solicitor. Any new business? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to And the board meeting will be Tuesday, the 25th, so we're gonna go 2 days in a row in June. And then July, we're not gonna have anything scheduled, hopefully.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. Okay, I will take a motion for adjournment. So moved, we are adjourned. Elizabeth, the floor is yours for executive, or for
Are we okay to
ethics
go right
training.